My name is K. Himajam, working as a lecturer in EEE Department, SRRS Government Polytechnic Sirisilla. Now, this part 11 explains the 11 kV by 400 volt plinth mounted transformers and major components of overhead lines. Objectives. On completion of this topic, we would be able to know neat sketch of plinth mounted substation, estimate the quantity of material and accessories required for the installation of 300 kVA 11 kV by 400 volt plinth mounted transformer, and also the major components of overhead lines. Now, the first part I will explain about 11 kV by 400 volt plinth mounted transformer. Plinth mounted substation. Now, this figure shows the plinth mounted substation. So, the pad, which is a low height platform plinth, normally made of concrete structure. It can also be prefabricated by fiber blocks on which the transformer can be mounted. However, the strength of the fiber block have to be ensured by DISCOMs before installation. Next one, the main equipment at an 11 kV by 400 volt distribution substation comprises distribution transformers, transformer mounting structure, protection system, earthing system, lightning arresters, LT distribution box, and reactive compensation. These are the main equipment in 11 kV by 400 plinth mounted transformer or distribution substation. Now, transformer mountings. Figure A shows the plinth mounting and figure B shows the H-pole mounting. So, the transformer can be mounted outdoors in one of the following ways: plinth mounting, H-pole mounting, and direct mounting. Here, the first figure A shows the plinth mounting and second figure B shows the H-pole mounting. And next one, plinth mounting. The transformer is mounted on a plinth made of concrete. The plinth has to be higher than the surroundings. The method can be used for all sizes of transformers where the distribution transformers are plinth mounted. They are efficiently protected by fencing so as to prevent access to the apparatus by unauthorized persons. Next one, H-pole mounting. The transformer can be mounted on cross arms fixed between two poles which are rigidly fastened to the poles. The transformer has two base channels which rest on the transformer mounting structure. Next one, protection system. The HT side of all transformers is normally protected by dropout expulsion type fuse. 3 11 kV dropout fuse units comprising a set are installed on mounting cross arm. The fuse element is soldered on both ends between woven wires which are sufficiently strong to withstand tension when fixed to the terminals on both ends. The element is housed in an insulated tube of paper or insulating material. Horn gap fuses are also used on distribution transformers on HT side. The fuse wire is fixed between arcing horns. The advantage is that ordinary fuse wire of rated capacity can be used for replacement, while for dropout fuses, fuse elements are required to be stocked for replacement. So now here this is a protection system. So for any device or any equipment, the protection system plays major role in especially electrical engineering. So some fuses are placed, that is horn gap fuses are also using on HT side of transformer. So here the fuse is fixed between arcing horns. So 11 kV by 400 volt is the rating. Next one, earthing. Earthing means already I covered in previous lectures. Earthings are two types: pipe earthing or rod earthing, and second one, plate earthing. So for different applications, these are using two types. Depends on application, either pipe or rod and plate earthing are used. Here, the pipe earthing or rod earthing is provided for the distribution substation. 3 electrodes forming an equilateral triangle are provided so that adequate earth buffer is available. Next one, lightning arresters. So here 11 kV lightning arresters of outdoor type are used for diverting the lightning surges to earth resistance of earth. So we know very well what is the function of lightning arrestor. Means to protection from the high voltage surges. These lightning arresters are placed on the towers, poles or substations or in top roof of the house also. Because simply it arrest or it divert the lightning surges to earth. So the lightning arrestor should be installed on the HT side and its lead should be kept at a minimum. So these lightning arresters are placed on the HT side. HT side. The main aim is to divert the surge to earth, to protection from all the equipment from the high voltage surges. Place these lightning arresters on the top of the roof or on the HT side. So this is the function of lightning arrestor. Next one, LT distribution box for transformers of 100 kVA and above. Here transformers are usually representing in the terms of kVA, not in the terms of kilowatt, because it depends on only on the losses or depends only on voltage and current. Copper losses are depends on current and iron losses are depends on voltage. That's why the rating is expressed in the terms of kVA, means kilovolt ampere, instead of power factor. So for transformers of 100 kVA and above, sheet metal LT distribution box consisting of LT breaker and fuse cutouts is provided, from where distribution feeders are to be taken out. So here this is the box. So in this box place the LT breaker and fuse cutouts. Placing. The size of the box has to be suitable for accommodating MCCB, fuse cutouts, cable connectors and bus bars, etc. So in this box place all the MCCB, fuse cutouts, cable connectors, bus bars, etc. Next one, reactive compensation. So here shunt compensation means to improve the voltage profile. Series compensation means to improve the stability. So here reactive compensation, the load incident on the distribution system is mostly inductive, require large reactive power. Here in general the loads are always all are inductive type only. Inductive type loads are placing. All the loads are maximum 95% are inductive loads. So here the first point goes to the load incident on the distribution system is mostly inductive, large reactive power. So require large reactive power because the loads are inductive type, not capacitive type. Next one, the best method is to compensate the reactive power at the load end itself but it is difficult to implement in practice. It is not so easy to compensate the reactive power at the load end. It's not so easy. Take some place some shunt devices means STATCOM devices are placing to compensate this reactive power at the load side. The procedure it is entirely different. It is very difficult also, and the compensation is a very tough task. So by using FACTS devices, compensate the reactive power load at the end of the load side. So STATCOM devices are placing at the end side. Next, third point, hence providing compensation on the distribution system is essential. So wherever the power factor is low, reactive compensation may be provided on the distribution transformers. Yes, definitely. Here the power factor is low. Once the power factor is low means a lot of disadvantages are present. The first and major disadvantage is the cost per unit is high. Instead of 100 rupees, we will get the power, we will get the bill. Current bill is approximately 150 to 180. So in any case, the power factor should be maintained as maximum as possible, means approximately equal to 1, but not less than 0.8 or 0.9. Maximum we have to maintain the power factor is 0.9 and more. Then only we will get the less cost per unit. So place means what is the procedure? Place the capacitors. Then automatically this power factor will leads. So it compensates the lagging power factor produced by the reactive load, means inductive loads. This capacitors compensates the reactive load, means obviously the power factor is improved. Once the power factor is improved, means the cost per unit is low and the drives are running very efficiently. The efficiency is good, but the reactive compensation is not that much easy. It is not so easy process. Always the adjustment of capacitors or inductors is a very difficult situation. The shunt capacitors supplies constant reactive power at its location independent of the load. Yes, the shunt capacitor always supplies the reactive power at its location. Already I explained. Shunt compensation to improve the voltage profile. Series compensation to improve the stability. So to maintain the voltage at constant levels, place the shunt capacitors. So at receiving end, generally the voltage will drops because of losses. So to overcome this, place the capacitors placing shunt with the line. So the shunt capacitor supplies constant reactive power at its location independent of the load. Next point, fixed or automatic switched type capacitors of adequate rating are to be provided on the LT side, LT bus of the distribution transformers. Now here the transformers, here the capacitors are placing on LT side. Here what is the LT means low tension. What is the primary? 11 kV, 11,000 volt to 400 volt step down. So these are placing LT bus. So these capacitors are placing on the secondary side of the distribution transformers. The capacitors are also fixed or automatic type. Next point. In the switched capacitor system, the capacitors are switched on and off along with the load to avoid over voltage during low load operation. Generally at light loads, sometimes, not always, sometimes over voltages are present. So to avoid these over voltages, the capacitors are switched on and off along with the load. Because here the second point goes to the capacitors are provided on the LT side, means secondary side, that is 400 volt. Load are also placing on the secondary side because step down 11 kV to 400, 400 to 230 volt. That is the rating. So by using these capacitors, whenever the over voltages are occurs at light load conditions or low load operation, the capacitors are switched on and off along with the load to overcome these difficulties. So here totally the major components are in the main equipment or major components of 11 kV by 400 volt substation as transformer mounting structure, protection system, earthing system, lightning arresters, LT distribution box and reactive compensation. Total 6 are the major components are present. So in the transformer mounting structure, I have discussed two types, plinth mounting and H-pole mounting. So in plinth mounting, the transformer is mounted on a plinth made of concrete. And in H-pole mounting, the transformer can be mounted on cross arms fixed between two poles, which are rigidly fastened to the poles. So plinth and H-pole mounting are discussed. And in the protection system, second one is the protection system. Some horn gap fuses are used on distribution transformers on HT side. And third one is the earthing. Pipe earthing or rod earthing is provided. So 3 electrodes are placing as an equilateral triangle. Next one, lightning arresters. Lightning arresters to divert the surge to earth. Place these lightning arresters on the top of the roof. Here in this configuration they are placing on the HT side, means 11 kV side. So the 11 kV lightning arresters are of outdoor type are used in this plinth mounted transformer substation. Reactive compensation. The loads are in generally reactive type. 95% of the loads are reactive type. So the lagging power factor is present, means the power factor is low. Once the power factor is low, the cost per unit generation is high. To overcome this, place shunt capacitors at the HT, at the LT side. So next, and also once the over voltage at light load conditions, the capacitors are switched on and off along with the load. So on and off operations has to be do to overcome the light load, over voltage at light load conditions. So next one, the schedule of material required for plinth mounted transformer substation. First one, 300 kVA 11 kV by 400 volt transformer unit 1 number. So what are the materials are required? Next one, PSCC poles 10 meter long, 2 numbers. Cross arms MS channel 100 into 50 into 6 mm, 2 number. Of 2 meter long cross arms MS angle, 2 numbers. Cross arms MS angle 50 into 50 into 6 mm, 2 meter long, 3 numbers. Plinth, cement, sand, stones, means it so it depends on the material and size. Next one, 11 kV gang operating air brake triple pole switch with 25 mm diameter pipe and handle, 1 set. Next one, 11 kV lightning arresters, 3 numbers. Next one, 11 kV disc insulators, 3 numbers. 11 kV horn gap fuse unit, 1 number. ICT PN 200 amps 500 volt with fuses, 2 numbers. ACSR or AAR conductor 18 meter. Stage sets complete, 2 numbers. Earthing sets, 2 numbers. Earthing wire 8 SWG 10 meter. Distribution box or cable box, 1 number. 3.5 core 50 mm square aluminum conductor, PVC insulated cable 10 meter. 150 mm square single core aluminum conductor PVC insulated and lead sheathed cable 60 meter. Now the first slide covers the 7 major components and this slide presents up to 17 and next one cross arm clamps 6 numbers, binding wire aluminum 3 gauge, barbed wire 25 gauge, nuts and bolts of different size, means it depends on the configuration. Danger plate 1 number, cement and sand, miscellaneous items, means red oxide, aluminum paint, tap, thimble, etc. So in the first slide, in the first schedule of material, total including with danger plate, total 24 items are required. Now we can expect the essay questions as draw a neat sketch or a diagram of plinth mounted substation. And second one, estimate the accessories required for plinth mounted substation. So these are the two essay questions we can expect in electrical estimation. Compulsory one question will come from this chapter. Now I take the slides, I take these notes from first one, Srinivas Rao sir, working as a lecturer in electrical engineering, GPT for women in Kakinada. And second one, power distribution management, blackspot.com 2014. So I take these notes from these two links. So in the first section, plinth mounted transformer substation, what are the major components? In second one, the specification, the materials, the schedule of materials are required for plinth mounted transformer substation are covered. And second topic is the major components of overhead lines. So overhead lines means all as electrical engineers we know very well what are the major components are present. So what are the major components are present? Strain insulator, insulators, poles, fuses, wires, service neutral, hot drop wires. So different components are present. First one, so what are the major components? Supports. Next, insulators, lightning arresters, cross arms, conductors, Conductors means different types are present. Copper, aluminum, ACSR conductor. So different configurations are present. Lightning arresters, fuses and isolating switches, continuous earth wire, guard wires, face plates, bird guards, danger plate, barbed wire, miscellaneous items. Major components or 15 items are present in overhead transmission lines. So first one we will discuss about the supports. So poles are towers depending upon the working voltage and the region where these are used. The function of the line support is obviously to support the conductors, so as to keep them at a suitable level above the ground. So the supporting structures for overhead line conductors are various types of poles and towers called line support. In general, the line supports should have the following properties: high mechanical strength to withstand the weight of conductors and wind loads, etc. Light in weight without the loss of mechanical strength, cheap in cost and economical to maintain, longer life, easy accessibility of conductors for maintenance. So these following 5 are the important properties of line supports: high mechanical strength to withstand for the weight of conductors and wind loads. So next one, the weight must be not very much high. So the light in weight without the loss of mechanical strength. Next one, third point is important point, cheap in cost and economical to maintain. The life also very long life. Next, easy accessibility of conductors for maintenance. Second one, cross arms and clamps. So these are either of wood or steel angle section are used on pole structures to support the insulators and conductors. Next one, insulators. Here insulators means generally 5 types are present. What is the purpose of insulators? To prevent the conductors, to prevent the flow of current. So insulators are using here pin, strain or suspension types, as the case may be, for supporting the conductors and taking strain or suspending the conductors respectively. There are 5 types of insulators used in transmission lines, as overhead insulation, first one pin insulator, second one suspension, third one strain insulator, fourth one stay insulator, and fifth one shackle insulator. So these are the main 5 types of insulators. So for each insulator has a different application and different properties. So some applications at the road turnings, one type of insulator is using. For low voltage rating, one type of insulator is using. For high voltage rating, another type of insulators are using. So for different insulators has different applications. So to overcome the tension, one insulators are using. So depends on application, the insulators are placing on the overhead transmission lines. Here 5 types are present. So 5 things are, so for each insulator has some different application. Now pin insulator and pin, suspension and strain insulators are used in medium to high voltage systems, while stay and shackle insulators are mainly used in low voltage applications. Here 5 types are present: pin, suspension, strain, stay and shackle insulators. First 3 types are using in high voltage and stay and shackle are using in low voltage applications. First one, pin insulators. Here this figure shows the pin insulator. Pin insulators are used, are the earliest developed overhead insulator, but are still commonly used in power networks up to 33 kV system. So where 33 kilovolt system is there, then use the pin insulator. So the range, the voltage range is limited up to 33. In general, what is the range? 11, 33, 400, like that. The ratings are present. So up to 33 kilovolt use the pin insulator. Next one, suspension insulator. Now this figure shows the suspension type disc insulator. In higher voltage beyond 33 kilovolt, it becomes uneconomical to use pin insulator because size, weight of the insulator become more. Handling and replacing bigger size single unit insulator are quite difficult tasks. For overcoming these difficulties, suspension insulator was developed. Here the first point is the pin insulators and suspension insulators are using in high voltage ratings. Pin insulator is using only for 33 kV. So if beyond 33 kV means the pin insulators are not preferable, not using, because for only single unit, for example, if we are expecting 55 kilovolt, means in the case of 55 kilovolt insulator, the pin insulator is using, the size of the disc is very large. So if any damage or any short circuit or anything happens, the total insulator we have to remove. So the handling and replacing this bigger size is very difficult. So instead of 55 kilovolt one disc, place 5 discs. Instead of 55 kilovolt, of one disc, replace this one disc by 5 discs of same rating, means each disc having 11 kV, means 5 disc means 11 into 5, 55 kilovolt. So 55 kilovolt. For example, if we want 44 kilovolt, means use 4 discs, each disc having the rating of 11 kV. 66 kilovolt means use 6 discs, each disc rating as 11 kV. So instead of one disc, replace with a single disc when number of disc depends on voltage rating. If in any one disc the problem will arise, only we have to replace that only one disc only. So the second point goes to each suspension disc is designed for normal voltage rating 11 kV, higher voltage rating 15 kilovolt. So by using different number of discs, a suspension string can be made suitable for any voltage level. So if I need 77 kilovolt means use 7 discs, 88 means use 8, 90 kilovolt means use 9. So each disc having a rating of 11 kV. So this is the main thing in suspension type insulator. Third one, strain insulator. So when suspension string is used to sustain extraordinary tensile load of conductor, it is referred as a string insulator. When there is a dead end or there is a sharp corner in transmission line, the line has to sustain a great tensile load of conductor or strain, means these are using at dead end of the transmission line, means some tension is present at the corner. So to overcome the difficulty, use strain insulators. Next one, stay insulator. For low voltage lines, the stays are to be insulated from ground at a high. So here stay insulators are using in the low voltage ratings. The insulator used in the stay wire is called as the stay insulator. Stay means stand still, and is usually of porcelain and is so designed that in case of breakage of the insulator, the guy wire will not fall to the ground. So for low voltage levels using the stay insulator, this figure shows the stay insulator. Next one, shackle or spool insulator. The shackle insulator, also known as spool insulator, is usually used in low voltage distribution network. It can be used in both the horizontal or vertical positions. So we can place it any side, either horizontal or vertical. So the use of such insulator has decreased recently after increasing the use of underground cable for distribution purpose. So here totally 5 types of insulators are present: pin suspension, strain, stay and shackle insulators. Pin suspension and strain insulators are using on the high voltage side. Stay insulator and shackle insulators are using on the low voltage side. The pin insulators having the capacity of 33 kilovolt. Shackle suspension type insulator, each disc having the voltage rating of 11 kV. So depends on voltage rating, number of discs are connected. So next one, strain insulator. So these are using at the dead end of the transmission line to overcome the tension at the end of the line. So first three types are high voltage applications. These insulators are using. Stay insulator and shackle insulators are using on the low voltage side at low voltage. So these shackle insulators are placing either in horizontal or in vertical position. Now remaining conductors, stay wires, boxes, everything I will continue in the next